Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I asked the question, what is fitness? And the reason I asked that is because I have a fitness channel. I have fitness in my name, and I see lots of other YouTube channels out there who call themselves fitness channel. There's people who talk about being in the fitness industry. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this, because this is something that seems to get very misunderstood, and people make fitness into something that it is not. And I want to explain that there is a difference between aesthetics and fitness. All right, aesthetics is how beautiful you are. It's how beautiful you look. All right, the aesthetics, a big part of aesthetics, the look of your body could also include your hair. It could include your dental work, what you do with your eyebrows, even as a man. I mean, that's what aesthetics is. It's your look. Fitness is how physically fit you are, how active you are, how healthy you are. And what I mean by that is, if you do not have the physical ability to do all the physical activities that you would like to and do, would enjoy to do with your life, or that might even be related to your work or anything else, you probably are not fit enough. And that can be vastly different from person to person. All right, as far as what your individual goals are. But the question becomes, do you have the physical strength, the mobility, the flexibility, the work capacity, the endurance to do all of the physical activities that you want to do, that you think would improve your life in any meaningful way if you were to do those activities? That's what fitness is about. That's what it's about. And a fit person is someone who is physically active, they're strong, they're athletic, they're healthy, they have good blood work, and a lot of that can be relative to your age to some extent. But that's what fitness is about. Now, people would say, well, you know, body fat and stuff plays a role in that. Of course body fat plays a role in that. If you have too much body fat, you might find that it limits your stamina. You definitely can find that it will affect your health and your blood work. Absolutely a factor there. It can absolutely affect your health and blood work. And that's something you can't discount. We absolutely cannot discount that when we come to that topic. So yeah, body fat and things matter. Of course they do. But by that same token, if your body fat is too low, it also affects your fitness. I mean, perfect example. We saw someone's fitness get negatively affected recently on YouTube. I didn't see the video, but I heard about it. And I'm going to take people's word for it on that. But how about with Eric Konevsky recently? He's a big jacked dude. He did this cut, got all ripped. Got ripped, and he couldn't even lift. Like, his lifts went to numbers below what I would consider acceptable for a novice. And this is a guy who's pretty big, pretty strong. At least I thought he was strong. And yet what happened to that strength? It disappeared when he got too lean. What do you think his blood work probably looks like? And that's what an example of what I mean. Fitness requires a certain body fat range too. And if you go too far above it or too far below it for whatever your endeavors are, yeah, your fitness is going to be negatively affected. But you don't see people mention that in the fitness world. They want to excuse extremes of body fat in both directions. All these people who chase aesthetics want to excuse extremely low, emaciated body fats. And you know what? You don't just see that here in the lifting world. You see the same thing excused in the anorexia world. There's pro-anorexia pages and channels out there. They excuse it. The fat acceptance ones excuse it also. That's not fitness. Encouraging anyone to be at an extreme body fat isn't fitness. And people say, well, Jason, don't you encourage powerlifting? I don't compete in powerlifting anymore. I don't necessarily encourage powerlifting at all. I've tried to make this channel more fitness oriented. And I will tell you that competing at the extreme levels in powerlifting is not fit. Okay, it's not fit. Beyond a certain threshold, powerlifting can start to negatively affect your health. It can affect your fitness. Is it great for your strength? Yeah, but strength is one component of fitness. Fitness is a multifaceted thing. It's not something you can just pin down to one thing. Strength alone isn't fitness. It's a component of it. If you're not physically strong, are you really that fit? I would say no. I would say that you aren't. There needs to be strength there, but there also needs to be overall health. There needs to be stamina. There needs to be conditioning. Fitness is multifaceted. And again, a lot of it's relative to what you want to do with your life. But I would say to anyone, if there's any physical activity that you physically are not able to do that you think you want to do or you would enjoy doing at least an acceptable level, you're probably not as fit as you should be. And if you aren't, then your life is suffering for it. Because you're not able to do the things that you want to do due to physical limitations. Now, I can understand if they're due to injury or due to illness, but that still means you aren't necessarily fit, because illness harms fitness. I mean, injuries can affect fitness. Of course they can. Because you're not a healthy person if you're physically ill and suffering from something. Of course you're not fit. But that's what we're talking about. That's what this is all about. And that should be the focus of fitness. That is what fitness is. But people want to portray it to be different things. And that's the thing that bothers me. That's the only reason I really harp on some of the aesthetic stuff. It's not because there's anything wrong with wanting to look a certain way. You know what? If you think you'll be happier looking a certain way, then who am I to tell somebody what's supposed to make them happy with their life? Come on. But in my experience, a large number of those people who get involved in that aren't happy when they get there. It doesn't make them happy. But the point is that that's also not fitness. I mean, saying that having your body look a certain way is fitness is like saying that breast implants are fitness. Because let's be honest here, a lot of the looks that people pursue, when you think about it, does that really require a fit lifestyle, or could that be done purely with drugs and cosmetic procedures? Yeah, of course it can. Of course it can. That's not fitness. Fitness is about lifestyle. It's about lifestyle. And you know what? Different people's ideal fitness is going to vary. It's going to be relative to each individual person and what it is they are trying to achieve in their life. But any endeavor that harms your health isn't going to be fitness. And that would include dieting down to emaciatedly lean, using excessive amounts of body composition or performance enhancing drugs. Yeah. Pushing yourself to the limits to where you break your body. None of that's fit. That's not fitness. And like I said, that could even include sports that I have chosen to participate in. Like powerlifting. That could fall into that category, absolutely. So there's a big difference. There's a big difference. And that's why I don't like when people try to pretend that these other things are fitness, because they're not. And then once they do that, you have so many people who do that that other people just assume that that's what fitness is about, to the point where you see channels and people like Callie Muscle talking about pro bodybuilders and fitness, like as if pro bodybuilders have anything to do with fitness. I mean, when you think about that, can you guys think of a lifestyle much more unhealthy than competitive bodybuilding? I can't. I can't. Other than maybe just, living on McDonald's all day. Eating McDonald's 3 times a day and sitting on your ass is probably more unhealthy. But not by a massive margin. It's not like it's tremendously worse. It really isn't. So just points to consider when we talk about this. When we start talking about what fitness is, people need to understand fitness is a multifaceted thing, and it's relative to the person. But the idea is the same. The idea is always the same. Fitness should include health, overall health, good blood work, good cholesterol, good blood pressure, having a reasonable amount of strength, a reasonable amount of stamina, a reasonable amount of flexibility. That's fitness. And like I said, of course, that's relative to your goals and what it is that you want out of life. But the whole point of fitness is to be physically fit and be physically active, and to be able to live the sort of life and do the activities that you want to do without any of those other things interfering, meaning your strength or your stamina or anything else interfering with any of those things. All right? And that's very much the point. That's what I'm talking about when we talk about fitness. We're not talking about, and I hope no reasonable person thinks that we're talking about fitness being looking like a specific guy on the cover of a magazine, because you know what? The guy on the cover of the magazine doesn't even look like that when he's not on the magazine. Food for thought. A lot of even those models don't even maintain that look. So, in what reality is that about fitness? It's not. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it inherently, but let's put it in the right category. That's in a different category. We need to quit mislabeling these things. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.